be their Louisiana auctioneer in this deal. They have auctioneer in every state except Louisiana, won't nobody take them for this reason. They're selling cat-owned equipment by cat-owned auctioneer with a reserve on it so damn high they'll never sell it. They were told and recommended them by Mr. Taylor to do a tag auction instead of a live auction. They did that, and they went to Shreveport, and they had a Louisiana auctioneer with them, and they did do a sale, and they did not do it with tags.
They didn't?
No, what they done, they carried the less valued cat equipment they knew they could sell out there and sold. Did the same thing in Lafayette about a month ago.
Who's the auctioneer?
I don't remember who it was. It was somebody from Shreveport. Dusty told me who it was, Adam, but he didn't
I
speak.
want to talk to Dusty, because I'm the one to talk to.
Yeah, but anyhow, I'm just bringing this before the board. I'm not saying they lied, but they misrepresented to Sandy, which they shouldn't have done. They should have, because I got the call as soon as the advertisement hit. I got one in my mailbox, and hadn't even had a chance to look at it when I got the telephone call about them not being licensed in Louisiana auctioneer. Well, I immediately called out, and they picked Cecil Brown to do that sale in Lafayette. That's right. And as far as I know, all the equipment sold from what Cecil told me. Matter of fact, they sold all the equipment and they put it all back together, and Gilchrist and Alexander bought the whole bit in one. So they just wasted a bunch of folks' time. But that's all I want. I want to bring that out so everybody knows what's going on with these people.
And I did speak to them. I don't know, what the records show of that auction. I did speak with the gentleman from Cat Auction Services after being advised from Anna that all of the items to be sold had to be consigned to Mr. Brown, and that Mr. Brown was the one who was responsible for the escrow account, handling all of the money and everything. I even had phone conversations with them about, well, could they open an escrow account and be on the account with the auctioneer, and they were told no, they cannot. That's the same as you handling the money.
Correct.
So yes, there was a lot of back and forth communication with this office. I don't know what the end result is of how that auction occurred.
Well,
It was my understanding that that's actually what
everything
happened.
was straight up. Cecil handled all the money. Cecil
Yeah.
paid the bills. Cecil
They
did
consigned it
everything.
all.
And I mean, Cecil Brown told me he done it. His word's good enough for me. Because I've known Cecil for about
But you're saying there was a
35 years.
second one that was done at Shreveport?
Yeah, this was done several years ago.
Oh, that's all.
Oh,
Not
Okay.
nothing recent.
Okay.
This was done several years ago. And it was done legally, but it was not cat auctions per se back then. They were
Right.
trying to.
This is relatively
This was incubated. And whatever auctioneer did it, matter of fact, I think he's dead. I'm not gonna swear to it.
Let me ask you a question.
But anyhow, they did it at the fairgrounds. And they sold all the equipment. This auctioneer handled all the money, collected all the taxes, whatever. So, I mean, it was looked into right after they did it. I wasn't even aware it was done. But Dusty told me.
I see you, Fred.
No, I'm patient.
I mean, I don't have a problem with getting a license. I want everybody to understand. I mean, it's a business license. They mess it up, we can always put it.
Freddie, you have a question?
Yeah, in the process of gathering all the information, I heard what Mr. Sims said concerning the company's approach to become scrape. I think once before in the board meeting, we mentioned something about auctioneer companies coming down. I think this may have been the case with the guy in New Orleans, the city of Kenton, where I don't want to use the term loaned this license or took over the auction for that company so that they can conduct it, taking on full responsibilities and things of that magnitude. I thought we had made mention of something about that once before. About how
This was not a limited license. This was specifically not going to be one, and I told them they could not do it that way. If Mr. Brown actually handled the wholesale, it was consigned, the equipment was consigned to him.
Yes.
And he sold it that way. That's not what happened in the other case.
Okay. Well, no, that's what I'm saying, because I know we had mentioned something about that.
Right.
that
No, that's, loaning your license is still a violation of our statute, and could result in discipline on your license.
Yeah, and that's what I think we, in cases like this, we may want to look into it. Behind the scenes, you don't know what it said, and I know you can go through the legal process with, doing it the right way with the wrong intent. you know.
All we gotta do is send an investigator to the sale. That's all we got to do.
But you talked to him, so you,
Well, I mean, I know because I talked to one of the guys who went down there to the cat sale, and that's how I knew they sold all the individual, then they lumped it together, and then sold it all. But I was just kind of concerned about, you know, out-of-state companies that have not gotten the business yet, attempting to do business in the state.
Right, but if they're not actually the ones doing the business, then we don't have that issue.
any other discussion?
I had a question.
Sure.
You said you were gonna check in on some stuff. I mean, are there
No,
questions in your
what he
minds
was-
about this? Any
No,
at all?
what he was saying about this other auction, I thought it happened recently. It happened 3 years ago, so that was.
Several years ago.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's no longer an issue.
What about it?
It's
So-
infractions.
You're right.
That's the sin.